I'll call to order the Jamestown City Council voting session for September 26th. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Sheldon.
Here.
Brackman. Here. Kaluga.
Here.
Reynolds.
Present.
Faulkner.
Here.
Eklund.
Here.
Versa.
Here.
Russell.
Here.
And President Wilson.
Here. At this time, would you all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation that will be given by Reverend Dr. William Blair from the New Creation Assembly of God.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please pray with me. Our Heavenly Father, I thank you that you always hear us and that we're never out of your sight. Autumn has descended upon us, and we are anxiously looking forward to the unfolding beauty of the season as it envelops our city. Tonight, men and women are gathered in this chamber, concerned and invested people seeking the welfare of our community. We ask you for wisdom to successfully deal with every challenging issue, insight to successfully navigate the recent increase of our homeless community and pending immigration concerns, compassion to provide and care for those of our city who are hurting and in need, vision to chart a course for our collective future that inspires hope, and competence that engenders the trust of our citizens. I seek your special blessings of health instead of sickness, peace instead of fear, and salvation instead of destruction. These things upon our people and our leaders. Let the work of their hands and the intentions of their hearts reflect the evidence of your great love and guidance in this place. Amen.
Thank you. Do I have approval of the minutes of the August 29th voting section? Second. Do you have any messages from the mayor?
Dear council members, in September 2022, we have welcomed 2 new employees to the city of Jamestown: Catherine Hancock, Comptroller's Office, and Regina Gonzalez, Jamestown Police Department. I'm asking that these 2 new hires be acknowledged and welcomed to the city at the September 26th City Council meeting. Very truly yours, Edward Gonzalez.
Thank you. Any message from me?
We do. We have 3 appointments from the city council president. Council members, in pursuance of the authority vested in me by the Charter of Said City, I do hereby nominate Patrick Smeraldo, 5 Westwood Drive, Jamestown, New York, 14701, to be appointed a member of the Salary Review Commission in and for the city of Jamestown, New York. The term for which said appointment is to be made will expire December 31st, 2022. Michael D. Lauren, 51 Durant Avenue, to be appointed a member of the Salary Review Commission in and for the city of Jamestown, New York. The term for which said appointment is to be made will expire December 31, 2022. And Tage Hall, 67 City View Avenue, Jamestown, to be appointed a member of the Salary Review Commission in and for the city of Jamestown, New York. The term for which said appointment is to be made will expire December 31st, 2022.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules and vote on the appointments? So moved by Councilwoman Eklund. Second. Clerk, please poll the council on the suspension of the rules.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Kaluga.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Versa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Wilson.
Aye. Do I have a motion to approve the appointments? So moved. So moved by Councilman Sheldon. Clerk, please poll the council on the appointments.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Kaluga.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund. Versa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Wilson.
Aye. Thank you. This time we have opportunities for persons to address the council. If you'd like to address the city council tonight, please step up to one of the mics. Please give us your name, your address, and limit your remarks to 5 minutes. Is there anyone who wants to address the council?
Hi, my name is Jen. I'm Jen Felt. I live in the city of Jamestown on the west side. I was just here to talk about the deer and what we were thinking about doing for that situation. I did print out a few things, but you guys can kind of pass them around or make copies for yourself or something.
Can we have your address for the record?
I live on Hess Street in Jamestown. I read, it must have been a Western New York News Now article they did for the last meeting when someone had discussed the deer. And we were talking about Lyme disease. I did print out some stuff about that. They did just do a new study that once a tick bites a deer, it no longer carries Lyme disease, so it can't infect people from then on. It's a new study, which I thought was pretty fascinating. Someone had mentioned something about the deer being sickly. I think Jamestown has a very healthy deer population, which some people would say is part of the problem, why they're having twins and triplets. If you do see a sick deer, I think it's just, you have a litter of puppies, you might have a sick puppy. I think, you're gonna get a sick animal in a group. The birth control was, I know, something that was kind of being discussed. So I did print out some stuff for you there, which I'm sure you guys have already done plenty of research on it anyways. And I made a big list of proven plants that deer will not eat. And when I say proven, they're either plants that I grow, and I have like 10 deer that come through my yard. They won't touch them. And I've knocked on neighbors' doors when they've had really pretty flowers over the spring and summer, and I asked them, what kinds are these? And they said, the deer don't eat them at all. So it is a proven list, which I could email to you guys or something of the sort so everybody can have it. Maybe it's something you could circulate or, at least to the people who are concerned about stuff like that. So I think that was really about it. Do you guys have I know it was actually a year ago today you guys voted. Last year it was the 27th, so tomorrow would be here, but do you guys have a date where you're thinking about what you're going to do, or?
At this point.
Alright, well, I think that's it. I hope some of that stuff is interesting and maybe helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the council this evening?
Doug Champ, 225 Bowen Street, Jamestown. I sent to you all an email, which you should have. If you haven't had it, you'll get to see it at some point. And I'm going to read what I sent you. I also presented this today at the BPU board meeting. There was no response, although I was given a little indication, and I'll share that the BPU is going to be testing what I'm asking for. They're testing it out. Why they're testing it, I fail to understand when it's so simple to do. The mayor and the BPU board have refused to accept the need to stream Jamestown Board of Public Utilities board meetings. The public and the ratepayers need to know what their public utility is doing and how and why they are spending ratepayers' money, for it is in the millions that they do so. What manner of investments mandated state and federal fees, required costs like operation and maintenance, megawatt allocations and grid transfer procurement, pending renewable energy applications, and the impending natural gas cost increase? How and why BPU ratepayers' monies are being and will be spent to successfully achieve and implement recipient electric cost of services. All ratepayers need to have an opportunity to learn and understand what the BPU is doing and how and why they need to do it. With the state climate action plan and implementation, and the state renewable energy plan wanting to enforce electrification on everything to electric use consumption, and toward and all renewable energy generation future. The Jamestown BPU must be fully prepared, and its ratepayers must be fully informed and engaged to know the impacts and all the associated costs from these New York State-driven programs, both now and into the future. Our utility ratepayers need to have an opportunity to learn and understand what the Jamestown Board of Public Utilities is doing about these issues and how they will impact their electric costs, such as total home electrification applications for basic heating and cooling, EV use, electric vehicles, and home charging, public and private building energy consumption and use, conversion technology, and renewable energy applications, the viability of net metering and time of use agreements. How will the Jamestown BPU implement off-site renewable energy ownership or procurement? Does our BPU have an energy use and development plan for public review and comment? My understanding, they do not. While the benefits to having and achieving all BPU board meetings streamed from the utility to and for all its ratepayers are meaningful. For those who cannot physically attend, the general public, concerned citizens, ratepayers, city council members, non-attending BPU staff in all departments could review and watch these meetings on their own time and place to understand and know what was discussed and what needs to be done. The utility could announce and present public need-to-know addresses and more in-depth information on projects and applications. And the media, who do not usually attend, can review the meetings and then present the board conversation, discussion, resolutions approved during the board meeting for public benefit. Despite the fact that four city council members attended a recent BPU board meeting and voiced their interest and support to have these BPU board meetings streamed live out to the public as similar city ones are done, like city council voting and work sessions, like tonight, planning commission, zoning board of appeals, LDC, human rights commission. And I have personally appeared and requested this simple public application at BPU board meetings for many months. So I asked, why does the Jamestown BPU board not want to move forward on transparency and public accountability? Their answer to me has been, we are still discussing, testing. How long does a simple task like this take? A cell phone and a tablet podcast could do it. Why all this necessary discussion and thought-provoking analysis for why or why not? Just do it. Our mayor supported a city transparency initiative on first taking office. I assume he wants to inform city citizens, BPU ratepayers, and our elected city council members on how, what, and why the BPU is doing what they do. The city of Jamestown depends on its BPU to successfully operate into the future. And its ratepayers need to know how this will happen. They are assets and advocates, not just ratepayers. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the council this evening?
Oh, can I just say one thing? I'm sorry to interrupt. All this went to all the media as well. So I'm hoping there'll be an op-ed done in this commentary. Thank you.
My name is Anthony Toder, and I live at 144 Clifton Avenue in Jamestown. I'm making my statements and opinions based on articles reported in our local newspaper and some city budget reports. As reported, there have been complaints about illegal fireworks, vehicle noise, loud music, drugs and murders, and problems in our parking garages, which I have continued to complain about at these meetings. There were issues of indifference and wanton negligence under former Mayor Teresi's administration and now Mayor Sundquist, along with their respective police departments, who now continue to act with the same identical response to my 20-plus years of bona fide complaints concerning traffic issues and crime in Jamestown. Reportedly, Chief Jackson has stated crimes involving nuisances are a low priority issue and refuses to hire officers to address these issues. These nuisance issues violate both New York state law and local laws. Again, I am publicly calling for the resignation of Mayor Sundquist and Police Chief Jackson, who both refuse to address public safety issues. It was also reported that more money is needed to address crime and housing. During the Teresi administration, upwards of $250 million, apart from tax revenues, were utilized by the city. Now Jamestown has received upwards of $30 million in federal funding, million more in ARPA funding alone than the county of Chautauqua. How much more money is needed to address these problems? The answer is, as I just stated, is that plenty of money has been given already and has been uselessly and irresponsibly spent on duplicate bridges in close proximity to each other over the Chautauqua River, colored lights at the power plant and under the Washington Street Bridge, a river walk that in areas may harbor crime, including drug activity, unnecessary park improvements, and wasteful park equipment expenditures. Mutual cooperation by the city with foundations and organizations who at times have influenced city policies have taken Jamestown in the wrong economic direction, with false promises that count on multiple years to actuate. In the midst of all these problems, Jamestown spends hundreds of thousands of dollars on events like wine tastings. A simple direct use for that $250 million has existed then and now. A solid job program could have started with the Teresi administration that could continue presently and would alleviate unemployment, housing issues, crime issues, and the city budget issues. Well, how is that going to be accomplished? By utilizing those monies to give tax incentives to private businesses to establish themselves in Jamestown, the city could attract an expanded tax base and not a massive exodus to Lakewood and the surrounding areas. The deliberate, wasteful, and irresponsible spending of $250 million, along with the deliberate wanton negligence regarding public safety by these last two administrations with their police departments, has developed decades of crime in Jamestown. Policies that result in an increase of crime give Jamestown a black eye and continue to shoot the flimsy remedies of tourism in the foot. In a city where criminals openly flaunt laws because they know that they can there are no consequences for their crimes. As long as Jamestown officials continue to irresponsibly spend sources of money so as to remain diminishing for the city, these sources of money will continue, and so will the increase in crime and poverty. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to address the council this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to presentation of petition. We'll move on to reports from our standing committees. We'll start with our Finance Committee, and Councilwoman Felipe will sponsor the first two resolutions.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing payment of the regular audit.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Ruba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Aversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Hills.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution leasing office space on the third floor of the Jamestown Municipal Building to the Center for Resolution and Justice Program from April 1st, 2022 to March 31st, 2025.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Ruba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Aversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Hills.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a grant agreement with the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee Police Traffic Services Program in the amount of $10,040.00 from October 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2023.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Ruba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Aversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Hills.
Aye. Next two resolutions will be sponsored by Councilwoman Betchman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a change order with Arcade Concrete Excavating LLC for Beachview Avenue Street Reconstruction 2022 for a total increase of $44,653.25. This is funded partially provided through CHIPS.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Aversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Ball.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a change order with Esteban Construction Company Incorporated for West Third Street streetscape for a total decrease of $32,598.50.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Aversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Ball.
Aye. That ends our resolutions that are pre-filed. Is there any report from special committees?
President Dolce, I just wanted to make a comment of rebuttal to Mr. Champ's statements. I did attend the BPU board meeting tonight. I am on that board. Mr. Champ wants to sound like there's something nefarious going on with the BPU board, that we don't want to share information, and we're not transparent. That can't be further from the truth. I think what it is Mr. Champ, things aren't happening fast enough for Mr. Champ regarding the televising or live streaming the board meetings. They are happening. That happened this evening. They are being tested. I haven't heard any opposition. There's been no opposition from the mayor as far as streaming these meetings. So I firmly believe it is going to happen. And the only thing I can say to you, Mr. Champ, is you need to be patient. And it's not just throwing down a tablet sometimes and an iPhone. We want to do it correctly. We want to make sure that the quality is good, and just be patient.
Thank you. Reports from people on committees. Any reports from city officers. Any reports from council persons on administrative boards. Is there any unfinished business? Under new business, we do have 3 resolutions. The first resolution will be sponsored by Councilwoman Eklund.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute change order number 1 with Arpatic Concrete Excavating LLC for Terrace Place Reconstruction 2022 for a total bid amount of $169,395.35.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? This is also funded partially.
Yes.
Any questions? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Aversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Ball.
Aye. Our next resolution will be sponsored by Councilwoman Karuba.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute all necessary documents with New York State and Empire State Development should the city of Jamestown be successful in securing funding through the Round 6 Restore New York Communities Initiative application process.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Aversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Ball.
Aye. And our last resolution on new business will be sponsored by Councilman Sheldon.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have an ordinance amending Chapter 131, electrical standards of the city code.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
President Dulce, I would like to recuse myself from the vote. I'm a member of the local electrical union, and this could impact me financially.
Thank you. Clerk, please poll the council on the recusal of Councilman Faulkner.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Aversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Ball.
Clerk, please poll the council on the resolution amending the charter.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Eklund.
Aye.
Aversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Ball.
Aye. Thank you. completes our resolutions under new business. Is there any other new business? Coming before the council?
I mentioned earlier, I went to Ally Co. Over at Crown Street, restaurant, food place over on Third Street. And these young people are putting together a program with some enthusiasm and initiatives to help coordinate and collaborate with all kinds of areas regarding the city. And Katie, who mentioned that she's talked to Crystal and she's talked to you, Mr. Mayor. I think it's such a worthy program that maybe either one of you could invite her or her group to one of our work sessions. So I was impressed.
Thank you. Do you want to mention anything about the Fenton and the cemetery?
Well,
Carriage rides are sold out.
Go
I
ahead.
was going to wait another week because it's,
What is it?
October, not October, the 8th and the 15th.
Saints and Sinners.
Yes, I believe so. And I don't, now that I said.
Yeah, I know.
Now you're gonna make me look because
Those are
it's.
Saturdays.
Yeah, they're both Saturdays, and actually they're going to have mausoleum tours again. So if you haven't been on them, yes, I'll plug them again, but I thought I did already last week, not the week before.
I was just thinking, because he's on the cemetery board.
Yes, and you're, aren't you on the Lake
I'm on the
Cemetery Board? So
cemetery
yeah, we're well covered, but yes, if anyone hasn't already bought tickets, please do so. It's very engaging, and the people that spend their time volunteering, the actors in costume, do a very nice job. So if you haven't seen it, it's well worth it.
It is, it's very nice, and it's, you live in that neighborhood, it's always exciting to watch them practice in the dark, and you see them in the cemetery with their torches and things, it's kind of scary.
Yeah, but they have some in the afternoon, so if you want to take kids, it's not scary, it's all family oriented.
Yeah, this is very nice. Anything else? Anyone to this? Brent, did you want to mention anything about? Yeah,
No.
Actually, the trash amnesty program has not been brought up. It was done at Bergman on Saturday, and I think the next 2 Saturdays will be Allen Park and.
Just
Just one, okay,
And it's,
okay.
August.
Not August, October.
October.
We're already into October.
It's not this coming.
Okay, it might be, is it
It's
the,
the,
no, I don't think it's, is it? But there is a trash amnesty day. If you haven't gone to the website, please do so. They are collecting mattresses. They have restrictions on what you can take. But for people who are looking to get rid of paints and solvents, I understand that Sherwin-Williams has been doing that as part of their county program. So you can take those items to Sherwin-Williams and they will collect them. So, yeah, if you have, but they are taking electronics, I believe.
it was the 8th, yeah.
What's that?
It is the 8th. And,
The 8th.
if you want, I can just read real quickly. No tires, no batteries, no yard waste, no liquids or chemicals of any kind, including old paint, may be placed in the dumpsters. But they are taking electronics as well as
Mattresses and
old
other items.
items. Yep.
But the paint, you can take, paint and solvents can go to Sherwin-Williams. The county
Yeah,
must have done
That's
something.
not correct. I hate to, and they only will take latex-based paint.
At Sherwin-Williams?
At Sherwin-Williams, no solvent, no oil-based paint. I deal with them quite a bit.
All right, well, I'm glad to hear it, but the way it was sent out, it was
No.
able to take almost anything.
No oil-based paint, no
I know,
solvent.
but I believe you, but I'm saying, when they initially sent it out, they said they would take all of it.
anything else? Any other announcements? You got one?
I just want to remind everyone, October 1st, and make sure that everyone here has been invited, is the grand opening of the skateboard park.
So someone asked me if we could bring garbage bags to the thing, filled garbage bags, because we're not a full item, but I didn't know what that rule was. I said I would ask.
I would want to clear that with Dan Stone. I suspect no,
That's what I thought, but
because
We had some
you
concerns
can't
about that
really,
last year,
yeah.
see, time filled up the dumpsters too quick with those bags.
And it's easy to kind of slip in
something that should.
something that shouldn't be in there, so, I believe no, but I'll clarify that.
I'll see.
Okay.
I would like to thank the BPU. I called, there was a problem on the corner of
number 6 in Washington. That was really a mess, and after making a few phone calls and emails, they did clear that up, but it's very unfortunate that people are not following the guidelines. The trash was all over the terrace. It's not fair to people living in that community. It's not fair to the public that passes it. And I've seen that again further on 6th Street, that we are having issues with compliance again, and we have the containers, they have all kinds of information to help individuals comply, but we really need to do better. It's a reflection on the community as a whole to see some of this, and I know they're trying to do their best, but when people don't follow the guidelines, it's an eyesore for everybody, and it's unsafe, it's unsanitary. So, but a shout out to the BPU. I saw the crew there, about 4 people having to clean up, and it was not bags, it was scattered by that point all over, and they had to actually shovel and pick up somebody